Hey, we're back with episode 2 of the World Cup series, and today we will be talking about Algeria.
درنا شويه ترينمون شويه لي تاكتيك الحمد لله كان مليح لي جروب فرحان الحمد لله نفرش صافطورك خويا صافا لاباس بيان صافطوركم
Which means we will be in North Africa for this segment of the series. Let's get into some notable moments in Algerian football history. So they made their debut into the World Cup in 1982 against West Germany at the time. And obviously going into the competition, no one expected them to win. One, they were an African side. Two, I feel like Germany was quite well regarded at the time in the game of football. But overall, the West's view of Africa at the time, and to be honest, still now in my opinion, was not. Let's just say they didn't hold Africa in high regard overall, and so they expected to destroy this team, and what ended up actually happening was Algeria won 2-1. Everyone was shocked, the journalists, the crowd. I think coming in as an underdog can be beneficial, personally in my opinion. When people expect nothing from you and underestimate you, they do have their guard down. And it makes it significantly easier to overcome them because they don't take you seriously. They don't view you as a threat. I think this was one of those times where people learned you should never underestimate anyone when you don't really know what they're bringing to the table. Unfortunately for the Algerian team, they didn't progress past the group stage in this competition because very clearly the West German team and Austrian team, I don't know if they were in collision, had basically created a scenario where they would progress and they would not by virtue of slowing the game. People literally called it the day sportsmanship died because it was clearly an underhanded move by them to suppress the ability for an African team to move forward within the competition, which is very, very, very like backhanded. But unfortunately, the world has a very difficult history when it comes to recognizing African brilliance and African success. And hopefully we keep making positive strides to change that narrative and change that view. I think that era or that moment really left a dark stain in the hearts of Algerian footballers and Algerian football fans, and I think like a lot of African fans of the game in general, because it was another signifier or moment where it was literally blatantly laid out that you do not belong here, we will never accept you here. And now we sit in 2026 looking back on that moment and thinking about how important it was for them at the time and how someone stole the beauty of that moment from them. But 2026 may be their year. Now let's get into the players that research tells me people believe strongly will most likely be selected for this year's World Cup starting team. So we're going to start with the goalkeepers. First we have Anthony Mandrea, who made his debut for the national side in a friendly against Iran in June 2022. He plays for Championnat National Club, and his inspiration or role model in the sport is the former Algerian goalkeeper Raïs Mboli. Let me just preface with, if I say the names wrong, I'm sorry. I have tried to look up pronunciations, but if there's mistakes, give me grace. This is my first time saying a lot of these names. And he actually made history as the youngest player at the time to play in League One when he debuted for his League One team at just 16 years and 10 months old. Icon. The club he debuted for at the time was Nice. Now we have Lucas Zidane. He plays for Granada and he made his debut in the qualifiers for the 2016 World Cup in the game against Uganda. He is the son of Zinedine Zidane and he usually wears the name Luca on the backs of his club jerseys, but he decided to wear the last name Zidane on the back of his Algerian national team jersey in order to honor his grandfather. Now for some defenders we have Issa Mundi. He plays for Club Lille in League One. He made his debut for the national team in 2014 in a friendly against Slovenia, and along with teammate Riyad Mahrez, he holds the record for most AFCON final appearances for Algeria. We have Emile Mehdi Dorval. He plays for Serie B club Bari, and he made his debut for the national team in 2025 for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. He's also quite capable of playing the role of wingback, as he provides a very quick attacking performance on the pitch if given the opportunity. We have Mohamed Amin Tagai. He plays for Espérance de Tunis in the Tunisian Professional League. He received his first cap for the national team in December 2021 against Lebanon in the FIFA Arab Cup. And he was recently actually injured in the 2025 AFCON competition. But he has now made a full recovery and is back playing for Espérance de Tunis in 2026. So his prospects of being selected are still looking up. We have Zinedine Bela. That's the best way I could find to pronounce the I with the koppelteken. This thing, you know, the I with the 2 dots. I don't know what that is in English. That's just how it's pronounced, like saved in my brain. Ever since I heard that, that was the best way to describe it to me. But yeah, so Zinedine Bela, he plays for JS Kabylie. He got his first cap for the Algerian national team in January 2023 against Libya. And he actually wore the captain's armband when he used to play for USM Alger, proving that he has the ability to lead a team, and maybe that would be something that would happen in his future. We have Juan Hajam. He plays for the Swiss Super League club Young Boys, which, by the way, I would literally just be a fan because of that name. I find it so cool. Like, it's so... I don't know how to describe how it makes me feel, but I'd be so proud to say, like, yes, I support Young Boys. That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. I don't know why. It just reminds me of, like, the joy of the sport, like the young, youthful joy of the sport, like the pureness of it for some reason, and that makes me happy. So I would support that team primarily because of that. He got his first cap for the national team in March 2023 in an AFCON qualification against Niger. And because of how good he is, a lot of European teams are actually keeping their eye out for him. As of 2025, quite a lot of teams have had interest in him, namely Roma, Torino, FC Porto, AS Lille, and Werder Bremen. So he is quite a popular guy. The streets are keeping their eye out for him. We have Ryan Aït-Nouri. He plays for Manchester City. He made his national team debut in the same match as our previous player in that AFCON qualifier against Niger in 2023. His hero idol at a young age was Marcelo, as he said the Brazilian, and I quote, was the best left back of our time. And I think he still holds that energy. So I approve of that message. And although he currently plays defense, he was actually originally a winger and then later changed. And he debuted as a defensive player, obviously, against PSG when he was just 17 years old. Next, we have Youssef Attal. He plays for Al Sadd in the Qatari League. He got his first cap for the Algerian national team in June 2017 against Guinea. And he actually, when he was in League One, was lauded as one of the fastest players in the league at the time when he played for OCG Nice, reaching a speed of 36.6 kilometers per hour. That is insanity. As an individual who cannot run past, I'm in awe. We have Rami Benzenbaini. He plays for the Bundesliga team Borussia Dortmund. So he received his first call-up to the national team in November 2015 for a 2018 World Cup qualifier against Tanzania. He has stated that some of his role models in the game in terms of playing style are Theo Hernandez from AC Milan and Bizon Lizarazu, who used to play for Bayern Munich. And when he used to be a youth player at Padu AC in Algiers, he actually used to play barefoot for about 3.5 years. And this is a method to help improve ball control and technique, which can sometimes be painful against players who are obviously wearing boots, because you're barefoot touching a boot, not a fun time, I can imagine. We have Rafik Belgali. He plays for Serie A team Hellas Verona, and he received his first cap for the national team in November 2025 in a friendly against Zimbabwe. And he actually lauds Achraf Hakimi as his idol within the sport, and he really admires his playing style. An individual who's had a large influence on his career is actually his brother, who used to be a professional footballer, and he actually played for KRC Genk. Next we have Samir Sofian Chagui. He plays for the League One team Paris FC. He received his first call-up for the Algerian national team for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers in October 2025, and although he is now a defender, he still holds a lot of the skills he learned as a midfielder at CS Brittany. Next we have Ramiz Zarouki, and he plays for the first division club Twente on loan from Feyenoord. He debuted for the national team in 2021 in an AFCON qualifier against Zambia, and he actually has modelled his play after Lionel Messi and Haaland. Although he has many caps for Algeria, he's actually quite a divisive player. Some people think he's overrated, and other people think he's just as good as he says he is. He is the person he thinks he is. I don't know, I can't speak for it, but I guess we'll see in competition if that really stands up. He is also the first of our midfielders. Now we have Imad Abdelli. He plays for Ligue 1 club Marseille. A player he looks up to is Zinedine Zidane, and he is actually quite an adaptable player on the field. He can play deep or he can play box to box, depending on what is needed from him at the time. We have Ismail Benacer. He plays for Dynamo Zagreb. He debuted for the Algerian national team in 2017 in an AFCON qualifier, and he has stated that a true champion to him is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who he actually played alongside. He was actually named the 2019 player of the tournament for the Africa Cup of Nations at the time, and he is also known for saying he needs to give 2000%, showing his dedication and hardworking attitude within the game. Next we have Hisham Badawi. He plays for the League One club Nice. He debuted for the national team in December 2018 in a friendly against Qatar, and he actually has identified Cameroonian striker Samuel Eto'o as his favourite player. He's actually referred to as the Prince of Bashar for his playing skills, and he's also known as quite a shy player and generally lets his football say what he can't say with words. We have Fares Chaibi. He plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. Another player who debuted in that 2023 AFCON qualifier against Niger is Fares. A little bit of a flop for him, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone else's opinion is.
That's what you think. Is that fact? No, but that's what you think, and you're entitled to your opinion. But I don't care about your opinion, you see.
If you're gonna leave something homophobic in the comments, you can keep scrolling, because this is how I feel, and I genuinely feel like it's the right way to feel. Sorry. He decided not to play for, when he used to play for Nice, he decided not to play in the game that was against Nantes, I believe, where the club wanted to do a campaign, or the league, had a campaign against homophobia, where they were going to wear kit that had rainbow symbolism on it, and he refused to play. I've made my opinion on what I think of that very clear. And yeah, Adam Zorgan. He plays for Union Saint-Gilloise. He debuted for the Algerian national team against Djibouti in December 2021, and he is actually one of the first players from the 21st century to play for the Algerian starting lineup. And he is also the son of former Algerian footballer Malik Jorgan. We have Ilan Kebal. He plays for the League One club Paris FC. He was first called up for the Algerian national team in October 2021, but didn't actually play, and his favourite players are Neymar and Riyad Mahrez. He actually won the trophy for most beautiful goal in 2025 for his game against Olympique de Marseille. We have Adil Bilbini. He plays for Al Duhai. He was called up to the national team in November 2025 for the FIFA Arab Cup, and he's actually what you would call both-footed, if that's the way I could describe his playstyle. And as of January 2026, he's actually only the second Algerian player to ever score a goal in overtime in an Africa Cup of Nations match. Now we have Riyad Mahrez. You've heard his name before. He's quite an icon in the squad. He plays for Al Ahly Saudi FC. He received his first call up to the national team in May 2014 in a friendly against Armenia, and he has stated that some of his favorite players are Zinedine Zidane, Didier Drogba, Lionel Messi, and the Brazilian Ronaldo. He's the current captain of the Algerian team, and he actually won the Premier League with Leicester, and he's won of the few players to have actually won a Premier League with 2 different clubs, Leicester and then Man City. So that's pretty cool. And he is actually the first African player to win the PFA's Player of the Year award in 2016. Okay, we have Anes Haj Musa, and he plays for Feyenoord in the first division. He made his debut for the national team in March 2024 against Bolivia, and he is actually known as a high-risk player, which makes him not so popular amongst some fans. And he's actually left-footed. We have Monsef Bakra. He plays for Dynamo Zagreb as well. He made his debut for the national team in the same friendly against Bolivia in 2024. And during his tenure for the MLS team New York City FC, he actually won the Etihad Player of the Month award in July 2023 after scoring his first MLS goal and showing high energy. We have Mohamed Amora. He plays for VfL Wolfsburg. He received his first call-up for the national team in December 2023, and he's actually regarded as one of the fastest players in the Bundesliga with a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour. Some of these guys are very speedy. We have Ibrahim Maza. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He received his first call-up to the national team in October 2024 for an AFCON qualifier against Togo, and he currently holds his main idol as Ozil when he used to play in London, but he's also named a few other players as people he looks up to, namely Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Riyad Mahrez, back at the scene of the crime. This man is an idol to everyone. I guess, like, when you're good, you're good.
Il n'y a rien d'autre. C'est pas une finale. C'est rien d'autre. C'est 3 points. On prend ce match, on prend les 3 points, on repart à l'hôtel.
And at just 18 years old, he became one of the youngest players to ever score a goal in the Bundesliga. I'm sorry in advance for how I'm about to pronounce this. I could not find someone saying his first name slowly enough for me to catch it. So, Redane Berkane, he plays for Al Wakra SC. I hope that was close to correct. I'm so sorry. Like, I feel terrible when I pronounce people's names wrong, because especially when they're what you would call quote-unquote ethnic names. I hate that phrasing, but it just feels like microaggressive to say it wrong. But I genuinely am trying to say things correctly. It's just like hard to find moments where people are speaking slowly enough for me to catch it, but I will get there, I promise. I will redeem myself. And he debuted for the national team in April 2025 against Gambia, and he is actually known as one of the more prolific goal scorers in most of the leagues he's participated in. We could say he hasn't seen a goal he doesn't like. You keep killing it, King. But that was our final player, so
Je pense, Inch'Allah, ya Rabbi, ما يخليناش.
رابك الحمد لله كاع الناس جينا يوم كتشافي فرحونا ولا والحمد لله نشوفكم ان شاء الله في الاستاد هادي ولا ما باليش كونتر بوركينا فاسو. السلام عليكم. وسان انجلش عربيك
من فونش
اليوم درنا شويه ترينمون شويه لي تاكتيك. الحمد لله كان مليح لي جروب فرحان الحمد لله.
Non, franchement, comme il l'a dit, super entraînement. On nous entraîne un peu tactiquement. Les coups de l'arrêt.
Oui.
Alhamdoulilah. Yes.
Let me know down below which teams you want to see more from. Please do not bully me too much about my pronunciation of some of the names. I'm trying my best. I really have fought with myself throughout this video to get as many things correct as I can. But that was very exciting, very informative. As a girly pop who's never, ever investigated most other national teams, I'm very excited at the prospect of seeing more of them actually play throughout the FIFA World Cup. And when I say play, I mean, obviously I've seen some of these players play because I watch some of the leagues they're participating in, but cohesively together as a team as opposed to as individual set pieces in a different team dynamic. So I'm very excited to watch the World Cup at home on my TV. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, subscribe, like, please, down below, and I will see you in the next one.